Hello, Dr. Hashmi here. This is my third video on presentation skills. Now, in this video, we are going to look from the point of view of audience. Who are your listeners and how they are going to perceive you and accept information from you. In the first video, we looked at the issues mainly around knowing self. I always say, know yourself better, you will do better. The second video, we looked at the environment, primacy and recency effect of memory, the way memory works, and the emotional element of a presentation. This is the third video. It is going to look at how authentic you are accepted by the audience or your listeners. If you look from the listener's point of view, there will be three types of people sitting in front of you. People who learn by looking at things, visual learners, people who hear and learn, people who feel and comprehend the content, more conceptual learners. And there are people with manual learners, people who are going to learn in groups, who are social learners. So you need to satisfy everybody. They got to be a bit for everybody in the group. Yeah? So that is one element you need to keep in mind. But in a broad sense, divide your listeners into two big groups, head and body. People who work with head to earn their living and people who work with their body to earn their living. Yeah? Now people who work with their head to earn their living, like solicitors, judges, teachers, nurses, doctors, they like their cognitive investment in information. Now I tell you a very interesting theory of mine. Cognitive investment is no different from financial investment. Let's say you invest some money in any specific stock. Mercedes-Benz, NatWest Bank, any stock, any large big organization, company, and you invest in that. What would you like to happen? You would like that company to be successful, because that company's success is your success. You have invested money in that company. That company will going to make money. You are going to make money. Cognitive investment works exactly in the same principle. If individuals cognitively invest in any ideology, in any thought, or any piece of information, they own it. And the success of that ideology is perceived cognitively as their own success. People who work with their heads to earn their living, they like cognitive investment in information presented to us. An example is, in the past, pharmaceutical industry used to send a lot of representatives to the doctors across the board. They used to bring some printed information, and before explaining anything, they used to open a graph, present to the doctor, and say, look at this. Look at the work of this drug which we have just created. And they would go quiet. And the doctor will going to look at the graph and look at the numbers and see, yes, this drug in this month, this is the trial, and that's how. So what the trick they are playing is letting a doctor cognitively invest in that thought, in that ideology, in that principle before they open their mouth. An absolutely wonderful technique. Now, take another example. A TV advert of over 50s life insurance paying £100,000 upon death. You only pay £7 per month, no health checks, you got to be over 50, and they'll give you a very nice pen as a gift. Who are the target audience in this advert? Mostly people who use their bodies to work. Why? People who use their minds, their brains, their heads to work, they will not be attracted for £7 a month and £100,000. It's simple. It's nothing personal here. I'm just analyzing and breaking down the thought process goes behind passing information to the target audience to gain business, to buy their thoughts into your strategy. Hence, you look at that advert and you will see how explicit that information is, how visual that information is, with an attraction of a pen which might just cost 25p to the company, but it will be presented in an absolute wonderful format because they know, and then they use the emotional element to it, showing a family, somebody in their 70s, and then people are around that person, all the loving family, wife, children, grandchildren, jumping over a man in his 60s or 70s. And that is the target. That's the emotional element of it, which I've talked about in the second video. So, for audience who use their bodies to earn their living, information needs to be passed on explicitly. You need to get information clear, straightforward, simple words, and as explicit as possible, because they will not like to invest the cognitive element in the information. People who use their heads to earn their living, they like cognitive investment. Hence, know your audience for any presentation, for any transfer of information. Know your audience and use information the best possible way for them to register the information and the information to stay with them for the rest of their lives. You don't forget it. Our heads are full of useless information. It is not because of we want the useless information. It is not that we want to fill our heads with useless information. It is because the way information is presented to us. Thank you.